all over. It contains strong language, strong opinions, and strong beer. It is not meant for children or for those who think they are children. You know who you are.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Welcome to episode 87 of Dumb All Over, recording from the tremendously big and tremendously wet state of Pennsylvania. This is a progressive podcast with brash opinions on politics, religion, and pop culture. And we're always under the influence of craft beer. In this week's episode, we will talk about Hurricane Florence, Paul Manafort's guilty plea, Brett Kavanaugh's rape allegations, and the new spending bill in just another week in America. We then talk to Kevin for this month's Not Politics Report. As always, I am Tom. I am joined by my co-host, Austin.
I was not expecting that.
Can you believe our president said that? It's still the greatest thing I've ever heard. It really is. In the most serious face. It's going to be tremendously big and tremendously wet. So stupid.
You know, that reminds me of my favorite political cartoon I saw this week, where it said that, what was the Hurricane Florence? It said
Florence.
Said Hurricane Florence is becoming a real threat. And they have Donald Trump saying, just offer it the same deal we offered Stormy Daniels.
I saw that.
I was like, oh, that is perfect. Well done, artist. Well done.
Oh, man. What a week in America, ladies and gentlemen. It's like the norm these days. But otherwise, how are you, Austin? How's everything going?
I'm good. I'm glad that I'm not trending for being compared to Mario Kart.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
But other than that, I'm okay. I mean,
good.
We haven't started going over the news yet, so.
No, it's just bad.
Yeah,
It's
I have a
all
feeling
bad.
it's just downhill from here.
It's all bad. So, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the drinks.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not sick anymore, so I'm going to be drinking, and I decided to come back with the beer of pumpkins. Now, you would think it's the Pumpkin, which is...
No. Anybody who's listened to the show before knows that's not the case.
It's not the Pumpkin. Although it's a great beer, it's not
That
the
is a great
king.
beer, yeah.
I am drinking... Drum roll, please.
Oh.
Weyerbacher's Imperial Pumpkin Ale. Oh, the best pumpkin beer. Well, debatable.
Actually, I believe...
Because we didn't choose it.
I believe that was the runner-up last year. Yeah,
It was the runner-up.
Yeah.
What was the winner, by the way? I don't remember.
Well, when we get to my beer, I'll remind you.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
don't have it, but you'll understand why in a second.
Okay,
I wish
fine.
I did. Oh, God, I wish I had that beer.
As a
Wish I had it so
reminder,
bad.
this is ale brewed with pumpkin and spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, and cloves, and it's 8% ABV for those keeping score at home. It's one of my favorites. It's not like it's not a light beer by any means.
Mm-mm.
It's very pumpkin-y, very spicy. I've already had comes in a 4-pack. That's the only bad thing is it's a 4-pack, and I'm already halfway done, and it's kind of depressing.
Although, had you gotten it from Weyerbacher, you could have as many as you want.
I know. All right, so with that, what are you drinking, my friend?
Well, I am going to switch it up, and I'm going to have an IPA. As a matter of fact, it's the Perpetual IPA from Trogs.
Okay. Oh, now I remember exactly.
That's right,
okay.
because the winner of the great Pumpkin Off of 2017 was Trogs Pumpkin Ale.
Right.
And that was so good that it came in little bottles with a cork.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember that completely.
Yeah. That was the best pumpkin beer I've ever had. And
That
until
was
you
fun,
mentioned it, I had forgotten about it.
Yeah, that was a fun time in my life. Drinking beers to determine which one was the best.
Yeah. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again.
Oh, I'm sure. All right, Austin. So let's do our symbolic cheers, and we'll get this definite shit show on the road.
All right, let's do it. Oh, nice.
Exactly as I remembered this drink.
You know, I have to say, when I first started drinking craft beer, IPAs were my least favorite by far.
Okay.
Now they're creeping up there. I'm really starting to like them.
Really?
Yeah, this one's perfect. It's kind of citrusy and hoppy, but not too hoppy, not like, crazy. I like it.
I'm definitely not a big IPA fan either, but depends on which ones. If I'm going to choose something that's not a stout or a porter, I'm probably going to get like a Belgian triple.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I kind of like Belgian triples.
But I have to say, Weyerbacher's Daywrecker is still one of my favorite beers of all time, and that's an IPA.
It is a good one. It is a good one. So you like the one you're drinking now?
I do, yeah. The Perpetual IPA is very good. It's I don't think I said it before. It's 7.6%.
Okay.
Yeah, Trogs makes some really good beer.
Trogs is very good. It's just every beer that not every, but almost every beer we've had from them is solid.
I think they make my favorite like wintertime beer, which is the Mad Elf.
Oh, that's right. They do make that. That is a good one. We gotta get invested in those as well for when Christmas time comes around.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking this year maybe it'll be the winter beer off.
Oh, okay. We already determined the fall beer, the autumn beer. Yeah. So okay, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Now before we move on, I want to say stay tuned for a special announcement that we're going to say at the end of the show. So if you're interested in our podcasts, hint, hint, we have an announcement that we're going to make, but we're going to save it for the very, very end when we do our final thoughts.
Yeah.
So stay tuned and do not fast forward. Stop it. Stop. Don't get your fucking finger off that phone. Do not fast forward. You listen to the entire show. Without further ado, let's begin this week's Trump Report.
Ugh.
Have I done a good job?
Not at all. Probably the least of anybody you've ever met.
There's nobody that understands the horror better than me.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
All right, so the first thing that we have to cover is something we did not have to cover last week because it hadn't hit at the time, but it is indeed Hurricane Florence.
Tremendously big and tremendously wet.
I can't believe he actually said that.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a statement made by the President of the United States. And he just seems so lost.
Well, it just sounds like his wish list. Like he wishes he were tremendously big and she were tremendously wet.
It was just so weird. It's such a weird thing to say. He was obviously reading from a script, and I don't understand why he can't stay on that script. Because you can tell.
Tom, it's so boring.
I mean,
they have all these words on the paper, all these words, and I don't read words. I'm not a word person. Not a word person.
But you know the best words, though.
I have the best words, of course, just like I have the best people. That's why I fire them all the time.
All the time.
Because I have the best people.
It's just weird to me.
May I tell you, 3,000 people did not die in Puerto Rico.
No, that was the other thing that we were going to talk about. Oh,
they all disappeared with Tupac, despite me.
Despite me. Tupac.
Yeah, they went to Cuba, the socialist country with Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Ocasio. Okay.
Look, they're pretending to be anomalous.
So that's the weird thing is. So first of all, that statement that he made, the tremendously big and tremendously wet. What shocks me is you could tell he's reading, and then all of a sudden he repeats something, and then he goes off on his little tangent. And that's where because I highly doubt the tremendously big and tremendously wet is in his fucking script. I don't think somebody
that was part
wrote
of the
it.
Presidential speech writing?
No.
407 years ago, I waded into the pool that was tremendously big and tremendously wet.
But not only did he do that,
built
that
by
was like,
anomalous slaves.
that was a funny clip, by the way. But not only did that happen, because that's almost just funny in a way, because he's just really stupid. But on the same day that this happened,
something a little more sinister.
Yeah, a lot more sinister. So it was the same day that the hurricane was about to hit, and Puerto Rico, who, if you don't remember, was destroyed by Hurricane Maria over a year ago.
Yeah.
A report came out saying that a little under 3,000 people is the official death total.
Wrong.
Now that the island, now that the island is back to 100%, well, as close to 100% of power as possible.
Just wrong. 3,000 people didn't die. You're just wrong.
Right.
Wrong again.
This is his.
Liberal
this is his
media.
actual tweet. This is his real tweet. 3,000 people did not die in the 2 hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico.
Correct.
When I left the island after the storm had hit, they had anywhere from 6 to 18 deaths. As time went by, it did not go up by much. Then, a long time later, they started to report really large numbers like 3,000. This was done by the Democrats in order to make me look as bad as possible when I was successfully raising billions of dollars, and he capitalized billions, don't think that's correct,
billions,
to help rebuild Puerto Rico. Oh, he was raising billions of dollars to rebuild Puerto Rico. Interesting.
Then I forgot to give it to them.
Yes, exactly. If a person died for any reason, like old age, just add them onto the list. Bad politics. I love Puerto Rico.
Especially now that it's down 3,000 brown people.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Oh, like he wouldn't have said it. Come on.
Jeez. So, like, the day that this report comes out, he literally says it's a lie. And by the way, it's not just the one report that everyone's focusing on from Harvard. It's everyone.
Yeah, there were several
who was
reports
in charge. Yeah, the island actually had people come on and try to figure this out, and they took away those aspects of that aren't related to the hurricane. But if power went out and somebody couldn't get a pill or a shot or something or a blood transfusion and they died that way, that's part of the hurricane, because the electric went up because of the fucking hurricane. So you had all these people, all these pollsters making these polls and these stats, and they all came up with that similar number.
Yeah.
And Trump seems to think it's anywhere from 6 to 18. What?
Look, I'm as good at counting numbers as I am at reading words. Okay?
Clearly. But here's some stats from Hurricane Florence now, okay? This hurricane... This No, that's Stormy. That's Stormy Daniels.
What did she say about my penis?
Oh, Jesus. That's a whole nother story. All right, so here's a couple quick facts about Florence. At least 33 people have died. 25 from North Carolina, 6 in South Carolina, 1 from Virginia.
Fake news.
This is September 18th, so actually the day we're recording. 343,000 people are still without power in North Carolina. As of 5 a.m. this morning, Tuesday, Florence was a post-tropical cyclone. It was located about 105 miles northwest of New York City. We actually got hit with that today.
By the way, a post-tropical cyclone is a great band name.
That is a really good name.
I like it.
Is that your cover band? Your first
cover
one today?
band, yep. Post-tropical cyclone.
The Cape Fear River is set to crest at 62 feet on Tuesday, and nearly 36 inches of rain has fallen over Elizabethtown, North Carolina. Other towns have seen roughly 30 inches of rain since Thursday. So there's flooding. A lot of flooding. If you watch some of the video in this, I mean, you have to have a boat to get around from house to house where roads normally would be.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. Well, it's a hurricane.
It's pretty bad.
It's funny how these hurricanes are becoming more deadly every time we have them.
Well, one of it,
it's almost like
one
the
of the
climate
reasons
is changing. I don't know, it's weird.
Well, let's not get carried away. That's fake news. But people decide to stick around.
Jim Inhofe.
Why do people stick around for hurricanes? If you're told to evacuate, don't you think that's a good idea to evacuate? Why do you stay? I don't understand that.
Let me give you a hypothetical. So you're told you have to evacuate, right?
Right.
Now let's say you live in a, I don't know, metropolitan-ish area.
Okay.
So normally the way you get around is by bus and subway.
Okay.
They tell you to evacuate. How are you going to do that?
True.
Right?
But there's nothing you can do. There's not somebody in your family